didn't tell you about that last game. Lasted for 1 out. Give up quite a few runs in that 1 out. Not the way somebody likes to go out, but to play this game long enough, that's going to happen. Just happened to be my last game that happened. But it's an honor to be here tonight. I want to thank the committee for selecting me. It is a great honor for me. Tonight gives me the opportunity to thank all my family members, my former teammates, former coaches, former coach here. Just to say thank you for all you've done for me, all your support, your knowledge, and all that you did for me and my growing up. It allowed me to be here and be as successful as I was. First of all, I'd like to thank my dad, one of the 2 best coaches I ever played for. The other being my brother, of course. He coached me for as long as somebody could without coaching in high school. T-ball, Little League, Babe Ruth. We had some pretty good practice sessions, especially on a Sunday when Saturday didn't go too good. We come in from church and get your glove and let's go. So, of course, I'd like to also thank my mom. She had a rough job. She was a mediator when I didn't agree with my dad on coaching decisions. Later, when I was up here, when I didn't agree with Mike, she was the one that thought, don't agree with what he's doing, and she would call him and tell him that he didn't know what he was doing. I have but I'd like to, thank my parents for being as supportive they were, and I wish, all parents were as supportive and as involved as my parents were in my activities. Of course, I'd like to thank Mike for allowing me to come and play. I said I went to Western after, when I was at Western, we weren't very good. Our season was over way time before his was. So I got an opportunity to go over to Corbin to see them play in the conference tournament. And after watching them play 1 game, I told him, I said, I'm coming. I said, this is where I want to play. And of course, it's the best decision I've ever made. I took the way I pitched, I actually stole it from Mike, from watching him play, pitching high school, pitching college. Just go up there, go it as hard as you can, for as long as you can, and see what happens. Every pitch that I threw had a purpose. There were some that ended up in the middle of the bag and back, and they had a purpose. When I got here, the thing I tried to do is I had to figure out how to win every game that I pitched in. And after the first game that I pitched in, that was easy to figure out. It's just get off the field. We had a lineup of hitters: Adam White, David Waters, Jason Harwick, and Tim Kearns. I mean, it was a murderous throw. A lot of times I would get, the first half out, come to the dugout, they would score 6 or 7, and it would be crucial. I mean, it was easy to win pitching behind the lineup that Mike and Saul put together. Playing here, I appreciated some things that a lot of people don't understand. I think back of many a sandwich that was eaten in the parking lot before a game, out of the van. Remember sitting in the parking lot, talking to my roommate, looking across the field and asking him, what is that on the field? And we were at Maria, and they had a minivan dragging the field. I could not figure that out. When we got to the field, walked to the dugout, looked down, and the first baseline was on the wrong side of things. So I knew then, that day, we were in for a treat. I guess another thing that a lot of people don't understand, we never lost a fight. I hated playing fight, I just didn't like it. There was a lot of those pitches that I talked about was in the middle of the batter's back. That happened a lot. And also had the opportunity to play in a game that started at 2:30 in the morning. We were in the conference tournament, rain was coming, and we got to the hotel, watched a heavyweight championship fight, left the hotel about 12 o'clock in the morning, started the game at 2:30. There was a factory behind the field, and they were coming to work at 7, thinking, what in the world are they doing? But that's just the kind of things that we did. I also had the opportunity to room with the best baseball player I have ever seen. He's here tonight. Tim, if you would stand up. This is Tim Kern. Grew up with him. Played Little League ball together. He come up and played for 1 year. I also had the opportunity to take phone calls from a number of the scouts. They were always, hey, is Tim there? Yeah, he's here. Hang on. But that was one of my favorite times the year he was up here. We get to play with him, and it was just wonderful. And like Chris said, when he called, you know, I give him probably the worst acceptance of a call that he's ever gotten. He finally said, "Is that a yes?" Yeah. Sure. He asked me. He said, "You know, when you think about it, he said, can you tell a couple of, you know, funny stories?" So I called a couple of players. You know, we played the old, hey, you remember that time we done this and done that? And after doing that, we only come up with 2 stories. You know? That's all we come up with. The rest is going to be my Conseco kind of type of my tell-all book. When one of them hits it big, it's going to be blackmail material. Like I said, we played it quite a bit, and I remember in between innings in the warm-up, I could feel somebody just standing just right here beside me. And I turned around, and it was shortstop, Chris Moon. And I asked him, Moon, position players are going to their deal. I said, Mooney, what are you doing? He said, shut up, I'm trying to check out that chick back sitting up there. So, any of y'all that know Mooney, that's Mooney. And for any of you all that watch a baseball game, if you wonder what they talk about on the mound, not all the time is about baseball. I remember one time we were at Kingsport, my favorite place to pitch here. Waters, I call him Dog, State Waters. He calls a pitch, sets up, did not hit it. This is where he was sitting. And if you ever see a catcher drop a ball, bend down, pick it up, and run to the mound, that pitcher has thrown the wrong pitch, and the catcher does not like it. So he gets the ball, he runs out, and those conversations are not fun. It's one-sided. The catcher, you know, gives you a what for, and then he turns around and goes back. This particular time, he sets up, hit it perfect, he drops the ball, bends down, picks it up, and comes running out, like only Waters can. And I was fired up when he done it. We were locked up in the tie game. I said, Waters, what are you doing? That's the pitch you called. He said, I know. He said, I just let everybody think it was your fault. I dropped it. I smiled and turned around and away he went. But that was, you know, that's the great memory. Just allowed me to, you know, talk to some former teammates and, you know, think back on a lot of things that's happened. It was great. You know, a lot of change has changed since I left here. If you look at the picture and look at me, one of them's obvious. Since my time here, I have moved back to Bowling Green. Since I've been saved and baptized in my church, I have a lot of church family here. I am currently in a fight and am beating cancer. I have 4 more treatments left, so you all pray for me. And God has blessed me with a beautiful wife and my 2 kids running around here, and One is just like me, and one is just like her, so lucky us. Once again, thanks for this honor. God bless you all, and God bless Lindsey Wilson.